There is a moment in every office that looks exactly like success. Someone gets called into a glass-walled room. They come out smiling. An email goes out. People clap. A new title appears on LinkedIn before the end of the day. The salary will follow. Everyone calls it a win. And from the outside, it is. Elias watches from the edge of the room. For a second, without meaning to, he imagines his own name in that email. The same applause, the same handshake, the same congratulations on his phone all afternoon. Then he looks back at the person being celebrated, and something in his face goes still. Because 6 months later, the same person is checking Slack at 11:47 at night, rereading the same message for the third time, surrounded by calendars they cannot control, and a job that no longer looks anything like the one they were good at. The promotion did not destroy him. It did not even disappoint him. It just quietly moved him into a different life, different problems, different rhythm, different version of himself. And the strange part is, he chose it. Everyone would have chosen it. That is what makes this trap interesting. Because the hardest traps are not the ones that look bad. They are the ones everyone congratulates you for entering. This video is not about refusing ambition. It is about something most people never stop to see. The career ladder can reward you by moving you away from the exact work that made you valuable in the first place. A promotion can look like progress while quietly moving you away from the work that made you valuable. Hold that sentence, because once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere, in your friends, in your parents, in the people around you who keep climbing and somehow keep looking a little more tired every year. That is the lens this channel is built around. Not just what success looks like, but the systems that decide what we are taught to chase. There is a name for what happens here. A man named Laurence Peter described it in 1969. He said that in any hierarchy, people tend to rise until they reach a role they are no longer good at. Not because they got worse, not because they got lazy. The job simply changed underneath them. But forget the textbook for a second. Picture the elevator. The doors open on the second floor, and the game is selling. You are good at it. The doors open on the 5th floor, and the game is managing the people who sell. The doors open on the 8th floor, and the game is politics, budgets, quarterly stories told to investors. Each floor is a completely different game, and everyone keeps calling it climbing. Nobody tells you that the elevator is changing the rules every time the doors open. Think about a top salesperson. They close deals other people cannot close. Customers like them. Numbers love them. So the company does what every company does. They promote them. They make them sales manager. And then something quiet happens. The company loses its bestseller. And it gains an average, sometimes a bad, manager. The person is not a failure. They are just being measured on a completely different game now. Coaching, reporting, politics, holding meetings instead of holding clients. This is the part most people miss. The system did not reward the skill. The system rewarded the skill by removing it from where it worked. You were good at building, so they moved you away from building. You were good at selling, so they moved you away from selling. You were good at writing code, designing rooms, treating patients, teaching children, so they thanked you by giving you a job where you do less of it and supervise other people doing it badly. There is a question almost no one asks themselves at the start of a career, and almost everyone runs into in the middle of one. Are you a technician or an operator? Do you love the craft, or do you love building the business around the craft? A chef who loves cooking is not the same person as a chef who wants to run 12 restaurants. A creator who loves making videos is not the same person as the one who wants to manage editors, sponsors, payroll, and lawyers. Both lives are real. Both can pay, but they are not the same life. The trap is not that one path is better. The trap is that the promotion often makes the choice for you without telling you it is a choice. You think you are getting more. You are. More salary, more title, more respect. But you are also trading something. Hours doing the thing you loved. Days where the work felt clean. The small moments where you knew without a meeting that you had been good that day. Sometimes the promoted person opens the old project file at night, the one they used to love. They look at it for a minute, then they close it. There is no time anymore. And the trap works because it looks exactly like something you were supposed to want. Your parents are proud. Your friends say congratulations. Your old classmates see the new title and assume you finally made it. Saying no would feel like failing in slow motion, in public. Elias scrolls past one of those promotion posts on his phone, a face he half recognizes, a new title in bold, hundreds of reactions. For a second, he feels the pull, the small voice that says, "You should want that too." And then he notices the voice is not really his. So the promoted person says, yes. Everyone celebrates. The post gets likes, and nobody around them has the information to ask the only question that actually matters. Is this new job built for who you are or for who they need you to become? Because the new role is not just a harder version of the old one. It is a different job wearing the same company badge. You used to build, now you coordinate. You used to solve, now you approve. You used to create, now you review. You used to know, at the end of the day, exactly what you had done. Now, the day disappears into 30-minute meetings about a project that never seems to start. Someone asks how the promotion is going. You smile and say, "Great, busy, learning a lot." Then you walk back to your desk and try to remember what you actually accomplished today. Nothing comes. And here is where the cruelty becomes invisible. The skill that made you excellent in the old role can become the reflex that makes you fail in the new one. The hands-on person who got promoted because they did everything themselves now suffers because the new role demands distance, delegation, patience, watching other people do it worse and not jumping in. The higher you go, in many companies, the less you are allowed to touch. The harder you fight to stay competent in the old way, the more you sink. There is something quieter that happens at the higher floors, and almost nobody warns you about it. The work gets more abstract, more slides, more reports, more strategy language, less of anything you could point to at the end of the day and say, "I made that." And slowly, a strange feeling shows up. You can still describe your title in one sentence, but you start struggling to describe your day. Someone at dinner asks what you actually do, and you hesitate. Not because the answer is secret, because the answer no longer feels solid enough to say out loud. The promotion did not take your meaning away. It just made it harder to feel. None of this means promotions are bad. Some people are built to manage. Some people grow into leadership the way trees grow toward the light. Some people love systems more than craft, and the world needs them. Without them, nothing scales. The point is not to refuse the ladder. The point is to stop climbing it blind. Because before the promotion email arrives, there is a question almost nobody asks themselves. Am I climbing toward my strengths or away from them? Is this next role asking for more of the person I already am, or asking me to become someone I would not have chosen to be if the offer had not come with applause attached? You can answer either way. You just have to answer. And once you ask that question seriously, something shifts. You start to see that success is not only vertical. There is the senior specialist who never became a manager and quietly became indispensable. The craftsperson who went deeper instead of wider. The freelancer who chose leverage instead of headcount. The small business owner who runs something simple and sleeps well at night. These paths do not always trend on LinkedIn. They do not always get applause in glass-walled rooms. But they are still ways of winning the game, sometimes the better ones. This is where Elias stops seeing his career as a ladder and starts seeing it as a map. A ladder gives you one direction, up or failure. A map gives you territory, depth, side roads, places to stop, places to specialize, places where the rent is cheaper and the air is clearer. And as he traces a line across the map with his finger, he realizes the question was never only about his co-worker. It was about him too. The next door is going to open at some point. The next title is going to be offered. And by then, he wants to already know which room he is actually walking into. If this is the kind of lens you want to keep, the Elias principle is here. Not to make ambition smaller, but to help you see what your ambition is actually being shaped by. The titles, the applause, the career ladders we were taught to climb before we were taught to ask who built them and why they keep rewarding the same shape of life. Most of what shapes your choices is hidden in plain sight. This channel exists to point at it, calmly, one system at a time. So come back to that office. The applause is still real. The salary is still real. The opportunity is still real. None of that was a lie, but the question has changed. It is no longer, is this more? It is, what is this asking me to become? Some people will hear the question and still say yes, and they will be right. Others will hear the question for the first time and realize they have been climbing for years toward a floor they never actually wanted to live on. The promotion that looks like success can quietly trap you when it moves you away from the work that made you valuable. The ladder is not the enemy. Climbing blind is. There is no shame in going up. There is only the cost of forgetting to look around while you do. Because every role has a shape. Every shape asks for a different version of you. And the version of you that gets you noticed is not always the version of you that gets to stay alive in the work. So if a door opens tomorrow and the title behind it is bigger than the one you have now, do not ask first whether you can do it. Ask whether you want to become the person who does it every day. Because not every higher floor is freedom. Sometimes it is just a better view from the wrong room.